What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about basic business. So there's a lot of new people that watch my videos. Maybe they just found me on YouTube and they're starting to dive into what I'm talking about. So some of the questions I get are basically, I don't have no money for equipment. Should I finance? Should I open a credit card? How should I get started? Because I want to start making some money. Now, first things first, I'm from the old school. If I don't have the money for it, I don't buy it. I don't put nothing on credit. I don't finance nothing. To me, that's just not a good move. And I take my advice from doing shit in the streets. If you didn't have the money back then, you weren't gonna let somebody front you and then you owe somebody something. You know what I mean? For myself, I would always buy wholesale, slang it for profit, save the re-up money for later. I never paid myself first. I always made sure I had the re-up ready before I paid myself. Till this day, I still use that same strategy when it comes to any business that I'm in. If I personally do not have the money for it, I don't buy it. Until I have the money for it in whole, that's when I go forward with it. So when it comes to buying equipment, when it comes to buying anything, t-shirts, whatever you need, save up for it. Like I said, I might have an old school mentality when it comes to this, but for myself, I know that I am not in the hole. I know that I don't owe nobody. I know that I'm getting it for myself. Like I said, maybe my OGs put me on early on, but that's how I function till this day. I know a lot of you guys might be college kids, high school kids, or maybe you just might not be financially ready to buy equipment and stuff like that, but making minor sacrifices right now to buy equipment, it helps. Maybe you don't need the new Xbox game or PS5, or maybe you don't need those new Jordans. Maybe you don't need to go to McDonald's every day. Maybe you don't need to go to In-N-Out every weekend. Make those minor sacrifices, right? Save up if you really want to be in this business. It's a different mentality when you actually use your money to make money for you. Because if you bought something on credit, you still owe for it, right? But you got it so fast that it's like, oh, whatever. So a lot of people, they'll finance equipment, they'll buy all this stuff. You see it all the time. These guys are leasing these DTG machines. They get the machine, they get all the equipment, they got the new Hottronics press, they're ready to go, and then the shit just collects dust. Because they didn't work to get that shit, right? They just financed the shit, they made it easy for them to lease the machine, they made it easy to get it, they sold them on the dream. Come to find out, they only sold them part of the dream. It doesn't cost a lot to get into this shit. Most of you guys saying that's easy for you to say, you're already making money doing this, you already got your equipment. If I were to start out today, I would buy a Cameo 4, the 12-inch one, the smaller one, or even look on OfferUp for a Cameo 3 or Craigslist. And then I would get the Craft Pro, Heat Press Nation Craft Pro Press 15x15. You're looking at $500, $600 in equipment right there, I think. If I wanted to go the cheaper route, I'd hit up Craigslist or OfferUp, look for a heat press. But you could get started for $400, $500, you know what I mean? Buying used equipment, or you could buy an M press, you could buy a Black Series press. There's other presses that you could buy. But if I'm a betting man, and if I did the research that I needed on equipment, that's what I would start out with. Craft Pro 15x15 by HPN, then a Cameo 4. Then I'd buy a dozen blank t-shirts and a roll of white vinyl. 5-yard roll of white vinyl, you'd be able to knock out a bunch of shit. How would I get all that? I just save up for the shit, whether it's saving my allowance, whether it's making sacrifices in my day-to-day life and put that money to the side, because if I really wanted this shit, I'm gonna get it by any means. So like I said, man, I come from the old school. If I don't got it, I ain't buying it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna finance nothing. I'm not gonna put shit on credit that I don't need to. I'm just gonna save up for what I need, man. That way you never owe nobody. You're not starting out in the hole. In this business, you gotta make smart moves. Well, with any business, you just have to make smart moves. A lot of us get caught up in the shit and we get lost in the sauce where we're just like, all right, I'm making X amount of dollars. I could spend X amount of dollars. Fuck all that, man. Like I said, that mentality is from the old school. I make sure I keep the re-up on me at all times. Before I pay myself, I need to make sure that I can re-up on t-shirts, on transfers, on whatever I need to keep making money before I pay myself. Check it out. Simple breakdown for this shit could be, I'm gonna get, let's say 9 dozen t-shirts, right? So I'm gonna get 9 dozen t-shirts. It'll be around $300 wholesale. And then I'm gonna spend maybe $200 on some transfers. We're talking $500. Now, off of those 9 dozen t-shirts, I know I can make over $2,000 with that. First thing I'm gonna do is once I start selling these t-shirts, save up that $500 so I could re-up on transfers and t-shirts. That other $1,500 that I'm gonna be making off of that, that's all me. But the initial $500 that it took me to get going and buy the supplies, the t-shirts and the transfers, I'm setting that aside right away. First thing I'm doing, first $500 I make, boom, to the side. So that way, when I need more t-shirts, when I need more transfers, I have that. I could re-up and keep the train running. You know what I mean? Because once I get that momentum, I'm gonna keep it rolling. That's all it is. Because if that train has to stop because I spent the money and I don't got no money, and then I gotta save up again to buy more supplies, you're killing your own momentum. So you could take my advice, or you could do whatever you want. This is just how I operate. I know 90% of the people that watch this channel starting out from home, just getting started. Maybe you already got your equipment, but you're just looking for some sort of direction now. But most of us got a full-time job. Most of us ain't doing this full-time. Most of us just trying to make a little extra money. Whether it's a hobby, side business, side hustle, whatever you want to call it. We all got bills. We all got responsibilities. Shit has to get paid. So whatever you're doing this for, you have to be able to make smart moves to survive in any business. Not just this t-shirt business, but any business. And also, if you're on YouTube getting business advice from people that make t-shirts like myself, and there's a lot of other people out there on YouTube doing the same exact thing, just make sure that you're taking the advice from somebody that actually sells t-shirts. You know what I mean? There's a lot of frauds out there. There's a lot of them. I see it all the time. You got these people telling you, hey man, check it out, this is all you have to do to make t-shirts and run this business and this and that. But outside of YouTube, they ain't slanging shit. And if they are selling some shit, it's because they're using their YouTube following to buy the shit that they talking about. You know what I mean? The people you got to pay attention to are the people that are actually in this business making money. That's the people that I personally would take advice from. Because I'm like, all right, if this person's doing X, Y, and Z, I need to be doing A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So for example, you got people like Rich from Hustle Ninjas that's very transparent about what he's doing and the t-shirts that he's slanging. Then he has a successful ass YouTube channel where he's teaching motherfuckers what he's doing. So if I were to ever buy into a course or learn from somebody, I'd learn from somebody like that, that's actively slanging t-shirts. Outside of YouTube, he's actually slanging t-shirts. That's who I would mess with. I would learn from him. Then you have somebody like Jon Phenom, who is actively in this business, who's been where we're at from the ground floor to working for big established brands. The true industry insider is on YouTube. So if I were to pay for anything to learn from somebody, I'd pay to be part of the CBA. I would tune in to the people that's actually in this business to where you want to be, not just the people trying to sell you some fluff. Hey, check it out, this is how I made X amount of dollars in this much time. And if they're just driving all the traffic through YouTube, and because their following's on YouTube, that's how they're making these sales, and then they show you the Shopify or Big Cartel screenshot like, look at how much money I made, but not telling you that all of those sales came from YouTube. You got to be very, very careful about that shit. You know what I mean? It's like all of these rappers that are coming out now, and I have no issues with none of these new rappers that's coming out, but every rapper's a drug dealer, right? It's in their songs. They've been slanging drugs and this and that. But if you check the track record, maybe that rapper 3 years ago bought an ounce of weed, broke it down into 28 grams, and it took him a month to sell those 28 grams. But now, quote unquote, a drug dealer, right? He sold some drugs, didn't say how much money he made, didn't even say how long it took him to push that product, man. But if you ever took a lie detector test, it would say, yeah, he's a drug dealer because he sold that ounce of weed and it took him a month to do it. That's where my mind goes, and that's how I look at a lot of these YouTube influencer content creators that's out here spreading this business knowledge, because being an entrepreneur is quote unquote the cool thing to do. You know what I mean? So let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do this. This is how you should be doing this. This is how you should be selling this. This is the space that you need to be in. That's cool, man. Because some of these guys might have sold a few t-shirts. Maybe they sold a lot of t-shirts through their YouTube channel, and now they're professionals at it, right? So when it comes to taking some sort of business advice about selling t-shirts, just make sure that you're taking the advice from somebody that actually sells t-shirts. If you're not watching me, like I said, Jon Phenom, Hustle Ninjas, these dudes, they know what the hell they're talking about. They're showing what they're doing. They have the track record. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good YouTube channels out there, but there's also a lot of sleazeball channels out there that's just trying to jump on, cash in on some of this AdSense money, cash in on some of these brand deals, and portray themselves to be something that they're really not. So you as the viewer, you got to make sure that you're getting the right advice from the right people. I'm very transparent on my channel. You know what I mean? You could watch me, you could not watch me. It doesn't matter to me. All I could talk about is how I run my own businesses, how I run my brands, how I sell these t-shirts. You could take a little bit of info from any of my videos and apply it to your own self. Do you have to operate the same exact way I do? Nah, man. You don't even got to watch my videos. This information is just for the people that understand what I'm talking about, the way I talk. That's who this is for. If you wanted the polished up shit, there's a lot of channels out there that don't cuss. There's a lot of channels out there that are given to you on how they're operating, the niches they're in. That's cool. But if you want to learn how to start a t-shirt clothing brand from home, a lot of useful information on this channel. You know what I mean? So if you take anything away from this video right here and you made it this far, make sure you're getting the right advice from the right people. Don't spend money that you don't have. Make smart moves within this business. All right? I would hate to see anybody lose out. I would hate to see anybody get into debt over this shit. And I would hate to see anybody get steered wrong. You know what I mean? Because as content creators, we have some sort of responsibility to our viewers. Because the shit ain't about just preying on somebody that's in a bad situation trying to get out. The main thing is just to be helping people out, man. It's just help people get ahead. Well, that's how I feel. If I could help somebody make a few $100s every week to help feed their family, pay some bills, better their situation, then I'm doing my job. But I'm not in the position to actually take money from somebody who's already hard up on some money and sell them some false hope. Fuck all that, man. I like making money, but not at somebody else's expense. So if this video helps you out, make sure you let me know in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.